Today we're doing the front brakes on the 2012 Subaru Outback 3.6. Stay tuned. So just to show you, we've got the front of the car is where we made our lift point along the frame. And then we've also got a jack stand here along the side rail, I guess pinch weld. So we're going to demonstrate on the driver's side, and then you'll just rinse and repeat on the passenger side. Looks like these calipers are made by Tokiko. I think they're 2-piston calipers. This is the first time I've done a brake job on this car, and we're also going to replace the rotors. I'm just going to try and remove this little boot that covers the leader screw, and then I'm going to spray a little Freol on there to try and make sure it loosens up easily when I need it to. And we're going to be bleeding off some of the fluid in the lines when we compress the pistons in the caliper. Next though, we're going to remove these slider bolts, top and bottom. I think they're 14 millimeter. Let's take a look. Okay, as mentioned, those are 14 millimeter, and they're not super tight. That one loosened up pretty easily. These are just going to slide completely out and allow us to pull the caliper out of the way. Let's see if we can get this bottom one. There we go. Bottom one felt like it was a little tighter, but not so bad. Those are kind of short, aren't they? Kind of expected it to be a longer bolt. Okay, I'm going to set the camera down so I can remove this, and then we're going to hang it out of our way. So real quick, before we remove the caliper from the caliper bracket, I'm going to see if I can just bump this bleeder screw loose. Alright, so it might have been a little bumpy ride, sorry about that. Just make sure it's good. We'll just snug it a little bit. Okay, those are both shorter bolts than I expected. Alright, you can see the caliper really easily comes out of here. And there's our 2 pistons. Hopefully you can see that. So those are going to need to be compressed. We'll have to loosen that bleeder screw, and we're going to attach our little bleeder bottle so that we don't make a mess. But for the time being, I'm actually going to try and hook this and hang it out of our way. And for that, I've got a little caliper hook. You could make something, I guess, to do that. These are pretty cheap, and I think pretty handy. I'll put a link in the description if that's something that might help you. Okay, the next thing I need to do is remove this bolt and this bolt, which hold the caliper bracket to the knuckle. It's a 17 millimeter. That's a little tight. May need my breaker bar for a little more leverage. Let's see. There we go. That was tight. He's got it broken. Can we get this one in there? That's the question. Kind of got a little bit of an obstruction up top with this bolt here. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a 17 millimeter wrench in there. I actually had to run to Lowe's and buy a 17 millimeter wrench because out of all my sets, none of them had 17 millimeter. Everything skipped from 16 to 19 pretty much. I've got 17 millimeter sockets, but obviously this bolt head kind of prevents you from getting a socket and the ratchet in there. And so my advice is check and make sure you've got a 17 millimeter. Soak this profusely with either your WD-40 or PB Blaster. I was using Freol. I soaked it about, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. Gave it about 20 minutes while I was off purchasing this wrench. And then on top of that, I piggybacked 2 wrenches to get extra leverage, and I'll show you that trick really quick if you've never used it. So here's our 17 millimeter wrench. This side over here was on the bolt head, and then on the open end side, you want to take another wrench, drop it in there like this, and swing it around. You know, it kind of forms a bar where you can pull on this end and just add a lot more leverage. All right, let's get these caliper mounting bracket bolts out. These were tough. But we got that guy. Let's get this top one out. This took many attempts, and I had tried a variety of different tools before I ended up just making a run to go buy a 17 millimeter wrench. So, and had one of those previous attempts worked, I would have had to edit some pretty copious amounts of profanity out of the video because it was not going well. Alright, so there's that. Caliper bracket and pads are off. So this is going to allow us to now remove the pads. We can clean up this caliper bracket. I'm going to kind of wire brush it down, spray it with some brake clean, and we'll just make sure all the surfaces are in good condition to accept our new pads. We're going to take kind of extra care to get our new pads sort of lined up so that we can see how they go. Obviously this is the back where the pistons were in contact. And we're going to see if we can knock this rotor off and clean up the hub surface and pop our new rotor in place. We may have to get some bolts to sort of press it off. I'm hoping we can just knock it loose. There we go. Beauty. So if that wouldn't have worked with the rubber mallet, there's a couple holes here in the sort of hub surface of the rotor that you can actually thread some bolts into. I'll put the specs for that on screen, and then as you tighten those in, the bolt will actually press against the hub and just sort of back the rotor off the hub. Luckily we were able to just tap it free. Okay, so there's the old rotor, and whoa, here's the new rotor. So I did pick up these StopTech Rotors, I don't know, several months ago. I just happened to be browsing for brake parts, and either the left or right, I can't remember, seemed to be marked down quite a lot. So I grabbed it and then ordered the matching one for the other side. When it came, one of the boxes was pretty well damaged, but the rotor inside was perfect. So I got one of these rotors for, like, I don't know, I want to say close to half off. Otherwise I would have just gone with a standard non-sport drilled rotor, but these are nice. I had them on my Audi A4 before, several years ago. Held up really well. Holes are chamfered, which is nice. Pretty nice quality rotor. The old rotors, you know, under heavy braking, we're starting to shimmy. So I don't know if there's warpage. It's probably unlikely. It's probably just something wasn't wearing evenly over time. I don't know, but this car has, I think, 108,000 miles on it. So I just wanted to freshen everything up and pop some new rotors on and some new pads. Made a mess. Alright, well, let's wipe all that off. After these parts have been made, you know, they sometimes oil these surfaces down so that when they're shipping or sitting on the shelf, they don't get rusty. So kind of want to hit it with some brake clean and wipe it down. Alright, let that dry up a little bit and then we'll pop this new rotor in place. Okay, so here's our new brake pads. They're Bosch Quiet Cast. I'll put the part numbers and links in the description. Let's take a look and see. Make sure we get these guys lined up the right way. That looks like that'll be our back pad. That. The old ones are pretty thin when you look at them in comparison. There's our old one next to a new one. So definitely needed to be done. So I'm going to put some lubricant on these guide bolts or guide pins, and just so they slide nice and easy inside of those boots. And you can see I've got the new pads kind of staged inside of the caliper bracket. Let's just try and get a little lube on these. This Permatex brake lube is kind of a purple color, so it's just going to help keep everything sliding nice and easy in there. Get this other one. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're a little dry. Alright, so those will be nice. Good little thing to do, maybe sometimes overlooked. Okay. Get it started. And let's get our other one. Okay, we're getting close. So I think I forgot to hit record, but I used my C-clamp and this piece of wood kind of spanning both pistons and just cranked it down with the bleeder valve open. It forced some fluid down into the bottle here, and we need to flush this fluid after we're done with this brake job anyways. But now that's ready. I can remove the piece of wood and the C-clamp, and I should be able to drop that caliper right over the new pads. Alright, let's get our caliper off this hook. So we can get it over these pads. Alright, that is in place. And then we'll torque these as well. looks good. Very nice. All back together again. New pads, new rotor, and now we just got to rinse and repeat on the other side. Hope that helps you. Please like and subscribe. I'll leave all the part numbers and tools used in the description, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.